Make sure.
Yep, so that's all good.
Yeah.
Right, good.
So,
As long as the red. Well, it's recording now, right? Yep.
Yep.
So once I do that, we're good. Why am I not seeing captions though when I clicked on it? Let's go back
turn
to,
on captions. Nope. Right there.
there we go. Yep, okay.
It shows,
So
it shows, the transcript is separate from,
from captions,
yes.
right. So right now, we're just gonna cancel this recording. We're just gonna stop.
Oh.
Okay, welcome everybody.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And welcome all of you to our town board. Roll call, if you want to do the roll call, Tracy?
Bombs.
Here.
Here. Diana Klein.
Here.
Kelly.
Here.
Right.
Okay, town clerk, oh, I'm sorry. Yes, make a motion to open up public comment period. Seconded by Gregory. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So be it. Okay, we have Mike Graziano, I think.
Well, the mic, it's better for the recording if you stand the mic.
Right there. Okay, in the back.
Right, yeah.
Mike Graziano, 122 Woodland Drive. I was here a couple of months ago and talking about having a section of my front of the house that's a drain system that is in disrepair. And last couple of winters, plows have torn it up and the road is high there. So the drainage ditch is a safety hazard. And Mike Schultes is, I've been talking to him for the last 2 years. This is going to be the third year of waiting to have that repaired, okay? And it was being tied to the drainage on Woodland and Kimball Terrace, and that's such a big project, and the more I look at it, I mean, can't happen this year, it's so big. I mean,
Your project is so big?
no, the work, Mike was trying, Schultes is tying it to that work on Wayside and Woodland Drive, the drainage ditch that was put in, okay? And that's major work, okay? And I've been asking for this is the third year to just have a 50-foot, the length of the ditch is 50 foot long, it's a foot wide, and maybe 2 or 3 inches at the deepest part would have to have some blacktop put in. And Mike suggested a through it.
Okay, we are now very short. We have these categorized down the code here. All right, so like,
Yeah, that's all.
all right, I will contact Mike and we'll get it.
I mean, it's not like it's an emergency, but the point is, I just see this year going by already. And
I'm just trying to clarify where exactly
It's in the road on Woodland Drive, 122 Woodland Drive. And it's a drainage ditch in front of my house. I'm gonna say about 10 years ago, the road was raised. And it's left that depth of the drainage ditch. And after some plow damage, you know, it's just a mess. Okay, so, I'm sorry, thank you.
Anybody else wish to speak? Oh. You have a list there also?
Oh,
Good evening. My name is Vincent Nugent, 219 Grandview. As of this Thursday, we'll have been there 40 years. I want to first commend the town for seeking outside funding to refurbish the rail trail. But I was dismayed to find out that they're looking to tear down those existing kiosks. My son built those with a crew of scouts and adult volunteers 18 years ago for an Eagle Scout project, and we were under the understanding that the town was going to maintain them. I agree it needs a good coat of stain and probably new shingles, but I don't understand the reason for tearing them down, actually. You know, in a town that prides itself in historical preservation and refurbishment, and a town that is looking to have a greener environment, it seems unwise to just tear this down, not refurbish it, and then suddenly put more pressure-treated lumber into the waste stream. If an engineer, an independent contractor assesses it and determines that it cannot be refurbished or repaired, I understand it. But a newer kiosk is not going to have the same soul as something that exists. It's certainly not as old as the stone houses in Hurley, but it is a history, and it has a history for individuals in the town. And those young men who built it are now in their 30s, and they're voters and they're residents. Many of them are also members of the Hurley Fire Department. So it was a commitment made to the town, and these are individuals who committed themselves to the town. So I urge you, don't necessarily jump ahead.
It will be passed is for a grant that the Hurley Rail Trail Committee will be certified of $6,900 in order to replace the 3 kiosks in our section of Hurley, one by the Sobis, one by Russell Road, and the other one as you enter into the wooded section. But I wanted to give you a little bit of history as to what's been happening insofar as trails are concerned. It's been a lot. The rail trail, the O&W Rail Trail, I'm treasurer of the O&W Rail Trail Coalition. It runs from Kingston all the way to Ellenville. It involves 7 municipalities. Ellenville, through the OSI, is now going to continue to even expand it all the way down to Port Jervis. That's the big picture. That's what's being engineered right now, whether it can be done. Ellenville to Kingston, yes, it has some gaps, but through the OSI, we've tried to fill some of those gaps with ARPA money. They've created some very new portions. So little by little, the trail is being completed. Just recently, the county received monies to be able to build what we call the connector trail. The connector trail starts in Washington Avenue, right by the Super 8, has a little parking lot, and it runs for 1.8 miles and comes right out here in Hurley. So insofar as trails are concerned, it's happened. We know, and the Neshokin Rail Trail, of course, which I'm hoping many of you have already walked. That's 11.5 miles, a beautiful trail. So the concept of more people are coming out, more people are using the trails. And as a result of that, since COVID and now since after COVID, there is a greater populace that is wanting to get out and hike and walk and bike. We just approved e-bikes on some of the trails in the town. So just to give you an idea, the OSI master plan, which is going to involve not only Ulster County, but Orange and one more, which I can't remember right now, but is involving 7 massive trail systems. Of those 7 massive trail systems, 4 are right here in Ulster County. So and I hope that
had 2 people say, we're kind of hooked. Can we just keep doing it? And I'm like, sure, no problem, because it is kind of interesting. It changes the way you look at the food coming into your home. And what we found is that households that separate their food waste have an average recovery rate of at least 80%. I mean, that's amazing. Households that don't separate their food waste have an average recovery rate of 24%. So, you can get right down to this, maybe? Okay, there you go. And this is what I was talking about, that the households that have that recovery rate of 80%. And those that don't, 24%. That is very that households that do that. And this is a summary. So this is the 9th slide. So you'll get great. So currently we're testing on 1% of the households, which would be 20. We still need 10 more. Is anyone who's interested? It's really, there are people here who would tell you it is painless, I think, right, Mike?
We need 10 more families. And
Well,
more than 2.
yeah, at least 3, if we could get that.
If you look at our demographics, our families are
West Hurley Firehouse and or Firehouse property. The areas of Wall Street and the connecting areas through there, it's walkable, it's accessible, and there's a lot of houses that could potentially benefit from structuring that there. So with that being said, this specific company, the National Fitness Council Committee, they made it a lot easier. So they actually go out, they help you with new grants. You have the ability to utilize in-house services in reference to the highway to build the platform and put the structure in. So
So basically, that's it in a nutshell. If you continue to scroll down a little bit more, hold right there. So these are some of these sponsors. Our sponsor in this immediate area is MVP. If you continue to scroll down a little more, continue. I'll go back to that. Continue back to where you start, right? Because so if you look on the background of that structure, MVP. So those are some of the things that some of the sponsors do to enhance the appearance and things of that nature. So with that, you also have the ability for seed grants, state and federal grants that can come in to help offset costs in town, as well as private, hence MVP. So these are aspects that if the town is interested, we can continue to look a little more into. I would present it to the rec committee, and we can do things of that nature. I will say that currently the closest location, if anybody's interested, is in Rosendale. They have theirs behind their ballpark by the swimming pool. If anybody's, off 32, familiar with that. I believe they put theirs in with the ARPA money, so they utilize their grant monies for that reuse. So
What do they cost?
So continue down, as we do so there now.
Farland?
Yeah, go right to, I believe, it's not this one, it might be that second one that I gave you the other day.
Oh, you want?
With that being said, Mike, you find this?
Sure. So I see MVP on there. So does MVP offer some kind of a discount, say, to the town itself on their health insurance for installing this type of thing? Because I know our MVP customers-
They're the ones who give the grant. They're the ones who give you the $30,000.
Okay,
So, and for that, they do have the artwork that, they obviously have to tax themselves. But there's
100%, right.
also some abilities to, put some things on it for the town. Like we have, we still go in and do potentially something.
Right.
Something of that nature.
Well, you know what it is also with this also, and rather than use the ARPA money, the county still has ARPA money left over, and they're doling it out. So, if by chance that, they dole some this way.
So, but the idea is, right, we have linear parks based on our greenways, and we have the Dughill Park. So
You also have the rail trail, too.
it could be, but the thing with this is because it's one unit, it's 38 by 38. What I would rather see something going on a rail trail would be individual stations as you walk in, riding your bike, things of that nature. This doesn't necessarily work that format. It could, we can find an area that would be large enough to house it. The other option too is the city of Kingston and Marpletown are both interested. It could be an intermunicipal type situation where on our rail trails that do connect with other municipalities, we could do something of that nature too, going forward. Right. So it's an option.
Yeah.
I think it's like Hey, John, you want to talk also about Hurley Day?
Sure. So Hurley Day is going to be October, I believe, 19th. You pull it out. So Hurley Day is going to be an annual, hopefully annual, event where the town of Hurley is going to utilize the Dughill Park. And in reference, the biggest thing of it is going to be donations so that we can offset costs to our kids going to summer camp. One of the things we've decided to do is to assist families in paying for summer camp. So this way, we're going to try to get really ahead of the game. So this is going to be one income source or revenue source to offset that from going to the budget, potentially other grants and do that. So it's going to, right now, we're working on having a smoker, we're working on having maybe a beer truck or two. It's during the flag football game, so it's going to be from noon till 4. So there's going to be in and out about 200 people already. We really just want to get people to the Dughill Park. A lot of people don't even know it exists. So this is a great way, one, to, get Hurley out there, start something fun annually. And grow from there.
So.
You've been up close and personal to those kiosks.
Well,
Right.
You could see that,
if it can be repaired.
Ralph, my question to you, if you submit the grant, but every time we found people to refurbish it, are we gonna be able to do that, or are you guys, once you get?
we can always deny, could return them.
Okay, I just wanna make sure that you,
Deny
that you're
grant.
gonna be on board with that, that if we got somebody to refurbish them, that you would then deny the grant.
Yeah, I mean, there's a time limit in which you're supposed to be able to complete.
Right.
And I think we're on public comment right now, so I think what we should discuss this under the agenda item.
Okay, all right, yeah, well, we're gonna have this in the agenda also.
Yeah.
So,
Can I just add something to that?
I'm all set.
Public comment, yes.
Um, if you went for refurbishment, Brendan and I would easily have a crew to do the work, to save the town that money. So if it involves, based on the design that we have while the cook, it was a stain and it was cedar shakes, those probably needs of work. As far as pulling out staples, I can do that. But my concern is if there's an issue about its structural integrity, that's one thing. But if it's moths, if it's staples, if it's coat of paint, that's easy. You can get a crew done to do that. Probably more scouts or the original crew that did it.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Right, Tracy, anybody else on your list? Anybody else wish to speak? Make the motion to close public comment? All in favor? Aye. Okay. Tracy, yes, you said it, and it's kind of report all.
I always have.
Anything relevant?
We always have something well.
I always have something relevant. Thank you, Jenny. Okay. We have some abstract reports. So right now we're looking at the general fund. This is a new. I believe so. Yeah, let me give the report. You and I have to sign. I'll talk to Wendy about how she's circulating these. But right now, for the week of June 26th, there were $165,119.66 in claims. Doesn't tell me how many total vouchers there were. I'll get that next time. The week of July 9th, $90,604.37. The week of June 23rd was $34,351.69.
Will you send a copy of that to everybody in the board?
I will happily. I have to get Wendy to do that. Okay, I'll happily do that. So the income, the month of July, we received $11,578.90.
In the court.
That does not exclude all of the, transfer station resources. So those came in at $17,551.75.
For 1 month, for the last?
That's what it's showing. So
Yeah, that's about.
for the month of August, for the recycling center, I have $26,089.87
Watch the date.
with a total, including that, of $34,863.37.
But the total of which the.
No, I said that. The 17 and the 26. No, you're missing two different months. Two different months. The total of $34,863 includes what the transfer station revenue of $26,089.
How about the clerk's office?
Right, it just all came through the outside. So, but it's also the funds now.
So there was
Or-
8K sort of total taken in so far this month. from the clerk's office.
Right, so, I mean, and we're running the transfer station, but what's happening now is all of the transfer station receipts are now coming through properly into the BAS report. They were originally being coded as if they were not town revenue, but that they were. It's the record. And otherwise, at this point, the one discussion piece that I would like to have with the board is that we need to decide whether we are going to continue to do hunting and fishing licenses. The state has changed that so that everybody can do it at home on their own computer. Correct. With people who don't have computers, you can go to Kenco to buy them. The question is whether or not.
You can buy one at the library.
You can do it at the library with just library, choose the library computer.
That's off the computer.
Basically, they've changed the system so that we're not offering the paper that was sort of non-destroyable. Now, just scan the paper. So the town gets about $1 for the hunting and fishing licenses. We had the price for, shoe was down. So I'm questioning whether it really is something that is necessary for the town to do. Set up change the process. So with the ability for most people to do it from home, the library or Kenco, as well as other places, I don't know that it's necessarily something that we tie up. But I'd like to consider it.
Okay, supervisor's report. There's a few things I want to go over with, everybody here.
Yes.
For that.
I did, that's the kind
I want to clarify a few things here. Up here. Yeah. What you see on the board here, basically, not that one of the,
So what are we talking about here?
this is the highway garage.
Okay.
This is the one that was sent to me.
That was one sensitive. Right, okay, all right. Anyway, what's happened basically is that we have decided, the town board has decided that we are going to take 8 acres on Parkway, located behind the basketball courts, further back here, and to the left of, to the south of the baseball field, and we're gonna make this into the highway town garage. Easiest thing is because it's our land. We're not paying for anything. How many? In that whole area will increase your time by 1 minute. All right?
So, I mean, so the biggest point is at least we've started the initiative, right? Nothing had been done to now, so we got it to the DOT and so now it's to do it. Have,
Yeah, those are not good.
I know. Yeah, I know that we need that. But my feeling is that, our maintenance person, you can do this. You know, and, we'll be saving, in other words, we're paying already into our 8th month. That's $32,000 we are paying so far for mowing. And if we just buy one of these, $7,000 and just pay our maintenance guy to do this thing, I think we'll be saving money. I know that we have to go through these days.
Yeah,
Or we
that's-
go to Sourcewell.
Yeah, that number is.
You
not-
just need 3 quotes.
3 quotes.
You do not need to bid this. It's under $20,000.
Okay.
So you just need 3 quotes in line with our purchasing
Let
policy,
me ask you a question.
and something that's commercial grade.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's worth pursuing,
Yeah.
sure.
I just don't know
Give
if
us
you're gonna,
information back.
I don't know if you get a more commercial more for that price.
Yeah.
All right, but
Even if we spend 8 or 10, I think this is a slam dunk.
and we could store it meanwhile at the town garage. When we have the town garage. Another reason to get a town garage, right?
For the lawnmower.
Okay. I also have another one here. This is a letter of resignation from ZBA Secretary Samantha Moore. She is going to resign from her position as of 9/14, 2024. I tried to convince her to stay on, but she has other commitments, especially the family. We are in the process of looking for someone to replace that person. Anyone that's interested, please contact the Sonata, the executive assistant on this thing. Another thing here, we talked about getting a copy. We discussed this last time, getting a copy. What's happened basically is that highway garage is in need of a copy. The one they have is ancient, it does not hook up to the internet, which is okay, but we need to wait.
Yeah, tonight.
Yeah. So anyway, so what's happened basically is they need to get a copy. My suggestion was we give them our copy here, because this is too slow. It's not useful for us, but for them at the highway garage, where they have less paper to use, it's good for them. We can then get a new copy here. And I quoted, we have 3 quotes coming in. Actually, I have 2 quotes coming in. And last time we discussed this thing, we wanted a 55 per minute.
50
Well, is it 55?
or greater, right?
We have on 55 pages per minute, and the price that he was giving us is $7,154 coming through here. All right,
Is that only A4 size paper, or does it go to jumbo 11 by 17?
done before, I think, small.
Okay, it's an
Did we get a
A4
maintenance
machine.
contract? Do we have to get a
We have to get a
maintenance
maintenance
contract?
contract, yes.
And then,
And what's the difference between a maintenance contract and if we lease it? I guess I wanna,
Well, the thing is, the maintenance contract, it's, we didn't pay the paper. That's the maintenance contract, the pay. And it comes with it. You
okay,
pay the paper, and it comes with it, and the maintenance comes with it. So you pay the paper, and that has it. So-
yeah, but there's a monthly, based off of the meter down the machine,
Right.
a monthly commitment for the maintenance.
4 cents a page.
Okay.
And I think it's like 10 cents for a college page.
That's
So,
cheap on color.
all right.
Is this on a state contract or?
This, it is on state contract.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. All right,
Mike, the question, the main, for the highway department though, I mean, I've looked at this one here. The network interface card on the one here doesn't seem like it's working anymore. You know, like it has a hard time doing network printing. It's very slow receiving the job. So I don't know.
well,
We definitely need this at town hall, but you might need a new one at the
well,
highway
no,
garage.
this thing, all right, it's happening in the past 3 weeks, some strange reason. Our internet is very spotty. We don't know what's going on. We've had Spectrum there 3 times, and 3 times they said it's fixed, 3 times it's failed. We're now working 4. All right, and as you see right now, we have internet, but not always. So, we are having to come back shortly. All right, good news also here is that Town of Hurley has received $77,636.34 from Ulster County Department of Finance. This is when, the sales tax hits a certain level, raises above that, they then share the sales tax with the towns. So we got 77,000 of that money coming through, so that's real good. Next thing is also, and this is really important now, this is for a Wi-Fi, $10,000 grant. It's non-matching, it's from the county, and that's to improve the Wi-Fi here. All right, here. All right, so we have applied for that, and we're just waiting to hear from Frank coming through that. So this is something that Tony Bonavist has researched and gotten that together, and so we're hoping.
That's at town hall.
It's a town hall. You see, the whole thing is, like, the question was also, we wanted to get Wi-Fi for the park. Remember, like, about 5 years ago, we talked to Spectrum, and they wanted $10,000 to put a pole up there, and this kind of thing. So we asked, and that money be supposed to go to the park, so into the municipal building. So like, yeah, so we feel that.
I just have a question. You said-
Yes. So far, from John Perry and myself, we looked through this. From the capital H funds, we had so far identified about $300,000 of money that was miscoded. I don't know a better term. It has to be needed reassigned.
So the money was operational money
It's operational money,
that was spent out of capital reserves.
right, which should
Incorrect.
be. I've spoken to the state control office, and they said that if you look at it, if you go back and look at our resolutions form these capital H funds, what does it say there? We have researched it. Jeremy has done a nice job of researching, gave us all the capital H funds, and specifically that this money is used for construction projects, not for operational costs. So we have something like about $3,500 that both John and I have identified as being operational costs.
35.
I'm sorry, 350. There are others, there's still about another $200,000 that we have to look into, because also coming out of the capital fund is engineers, of course. I don't know if that's legit coming off of there, because we have an engineer's budget.
It depends if the purpose is for a capital project or the purpose is for an
But even
operational.
still, that should come out of, we have a budget line for engineers, and that's what should come from there, I think. So we're going through it and we're looking for the resolution, we're looking for the invoices for those, seeing where they come from. That's another $300,000.
Every single one of this should have been done by resolution to pull the monies from.
That, not one, there wasn't one resolution to pull. The thing is, you have the right to take money out of the capital H funds and move it somewhere. You have the right to do that, but you need a resolution of the town board. And so I've went back to the minutes and so forth, not one single. I'm not sure why it wasn't that, but it just is more or less. And so what we are doing is, Jim Quigley is going through, he's finishing up the AFR for 2023. And then what we're doing is, according to the state controller, we are then going to submit it to a independent auditor. Jim Quigley is our auditor, submit to an independent auditor, and then ship it up to the state with their conclusion, whatever they say, more or less. I will tell you one thing, don't hold your breath. They take a long time. In fact, we actually have a meeting this coming Thursday on an audit that took place 7 years ago. So they finally come into a summary to us, all like, this might take a while to get this, but we're doing our due diligence, we're doing what we can do.
Now, do we have to replace that money in that capital?
What we have to do is, see, we have to, yes, we have to replace that money. We have, another. Still stays in the same bank, so we're still drawing interest on it.
So do we have a resolution to do that?
You want?
We're gonna finalize the number first.
Yeah, we have to-
We'll do one resolution.
Yeah, we're gonna do one resolution. And we have to basically is then take all that capital fund money that was taken out and add it on to 2023 budget where it belongs, more or less. As well as the $259,000 in bills that were paid in 2024 that accumulated back in 2023. So we have about $600,000.
Has been no more than that, because it's been 259.
Well, there's more. There's more. I see a couple come in already. I saw one this the other day for $5,000 for the library that should have been taken out 2023. So it's still coming in.
Shameful. Highway.
And the highway, yes, highway. We haven't even done the highway yet either. Right, we haven't done the highway either because that's another.
17,000.
There were unpaid highway invoices as well.
Well, one of the highway invoices that was not paid was the Webster. Allows town trucks to get gasoline without paying taxes on it, and it closed our account. Because of my payment, and let's get scrambled and get it done back. It's all gonna be correct. And what I ask of all of you is be patient. We have a really very, very qualified individual, Jim Quigley, who's working real hard to get this all straightened out. You know, he actually thought that when he first came on, it would take him 3 weeks to get something done. It's been about 5 months, and in his words, it's a mess.
Well, there's just a ton of detail, just a ton of detail, yeah.
And the thing is, though, I've been contacted by the state controller.
You're still stating though that the books were not kept starting July of last year, correct?
Not kept since March.
March, okay.
And so when I spoke to, when the state controller called me up, our member from the North told me to ask me at the AFR. I explained what's going on. She said, I understand, see that. As long as you're working on it, keep working on it. And then do an independent audit and send it all. So.
Let me go through the details again.
Yeah, you know something, I'm gonna get it right. We're gonna get it right, we're gonna lay it out there, it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be taken care of. I just wanna tell you something again, we're not broke. You know, we have money, all right? It's just there, and there. And we just gotta bring it together like that, but it's there, we have money. So please don't think the fact that we are a poor town, we're not. We're a town that has messy books.
Like, did you want to mention this?
Oh.
too?
Yes.
A positive little note.
Okay, given in honor of your generous community support from the Ulster Garden Club. Thank you so much.
And the flowers came from the farm.
And the flowers came from the farm.
So one right here now.
Okay, new business, presentation. Greenway.
Actually, up here somewhere, buddy.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to get.
Hold on one
Yeah,
minute.
one thing, the building department report and assessment report were in the package.
Yeah.
they're in the packets, and I believe our last town board meeting, we presented it also. It's in the packet.
And we're just getting to the agenda 43 minutes into the meeting, so I just want to maybe point of order on time on all these presentations.
This is what you need, right?
Yes. We're gonna, kind of roll right through it in the, deference to the time that we have. When we signed our contract, we said that the first thing we do is have a good look at the transfer station. And transfer station is the foundation of zero waste. So our zero waste goal is to recover 90% of our waste stream. And we, after doing this, we think that is actually possible to do. So we're laying out right now what we've come up with, and when we get to recommendations and conclusions, we're going to spend a little time saying how it's possible. But in looking at the transfer station, there's four employees. I found it a little astounding that they handle 1,500 tons of material per year with no mechanical equipment. It's an effort that shows a tremendous amount of strength and cooperation. And I've spent many days at the transfer station just observing the flow and figuring out how I can add more work to this workload, because zero waste doesn't reduce the amount of waste. It increases the handling of the waste. So the 1,500 tons and that came up today are part of this, right? So the total income from 23 was 321,000, and
Sorry about that.
And then what we do is we break down where it came from, where it went. So I mean, you could mattresses. So they took in and they made $1,400. You all paid $1,400 to get rid of your mattresses, and all the way through. You have the next slide. And then the gross income is the 321. Now the most of the transfer station disposal expenses were paid to the Resource Recovery Agency. And so we paid the agency $9,800 and 98,000. And so the net transfer station income was 222,000.
Which doesn't include the labor for the staff, correct?
The way I understand that the accounting is done is that all of the staff for every department is paid from the general fund, and the expenses of the transfer station is all done the way you see it, and that way it ensures a continuity through the, whoever did it, set it up, probably did it to ensure this continuity. Everyone gets paid,
And it doesn't depend on, you know, the price of cardboard, whether, you know, you're gonna get your salary. Next.
But ultimately, the goal was after labor expenses, that's a break even.
I
That was
don't,
what was resolved.
I don't know if that's the goal, but I do know
It is the goal.
that
That is our goal.
the cost and the income is here. Right, so that's really what we have to go on. And you can see that we paid the agency a certain amount of money, and we the people of Hurley paid for the service a certain amount of money. Absolutely due conclusion is that under the existing conditions, the transfer station really can't handle any more material. And there are times when they are overwhelmed by the amount of material that comes in because they have no equipment to help them out. So what's happening, like kind of a big picture thing, is the Resource Recovery Agency is going to raise prices somewhere between 20 and 60%. And just in our work with the residents here in dealing with backyard composting and so forth, we've got an understanding of the about total of 1,500 people have transfer station passes, with 1,000 of those people, of those households, being Hurley households, and 500 being from outside of Hurley. So when you look at the whole service area, Ashokan down to down into Hurley, there are about 4,000 families. So and then there's another 800 families in Hurley that haven't purchased passes. And some of them purchase day passes and so forth. So one of the drivers of a usage of transfer station is the cost of disposal. So we can project that as the cost of disposal goes up, the demand for transfer station services is going to go up as well. So that we all know the differences in the cost. The people from outside pay 60, and the local taxpayers pay 20. So what you're going to see in the future is that the demand for transfer station services at the Hurley transfer station is going to double in the intermediate future. And on the handling of food waste, because from our audits, which Josephine is going to spend some time talking about the impact of our audits and the results that we get, that we are going to be able to really manage the material much better with the development of backyard composting. So that's part of the conclusion. And so the backhoe, we're suggesting that they purchase a backhoe and that we purchase a backhoe, and that would allow for the increase in volume. And it's a simple piece of equipment, but it allows especially the metal dumpster, which is kind of like the bottleneck in the process because the metal is so heavy. And so it allows that dumpster to be packed. And it will allow us to manage the food waste and the materials that we add to the food waste, the odor control blend, and the rapid decomposition media. So we estimate that we're going to be able to remove approximately 300 tons of food waste from the landfill dumpster. But that material still has to be handled, but instead of it going to a landfill, it's going to be composted. And the backyard composting efforts will allow some of that material to be processed in the backyard. But you have to realize that backyard composting is very challenging at a small scale in the wintertime. So when you have a complete system, that material that people are diligently saving, the transfer station is going to be the outlet for that material through the frozen months.
Two questions. When you're referring to a backhoe, you're talking about like a combination loader backhoe, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then town gonna take all this?
In the contract, and the kind of interesting part of the contract, given the lack of facilities to handle food waste. As you know, we have a facility and we have capacity, and the town has purchased that capacity for the length of our contract. So there's no capacity at the Resource Recovery Agency. And so we have approximately 2,000 tons of capacity. And we have reserved 500 tons for the town of Hurley. And so that's where it's going to go for the duration of our contract.
A question that's response, those figures you gave, where those numbers come from, what year is that?
That is, the volume numbers.
From what the year was.
2023.
Yeah, the 2022.
Yeah, they're from 2023.
From the
And
volume numbers.
This is what you assumed, or this is numbers you were given?
These
were
are,
given right to us.
This is from.
well, there's two parts. There's the volume. And all the volume numbers come from the outlets. So Upper took all the trash. They took the mattresses. They took the commingled, 32 tons. They take it at no cost. So all of those numbers come from there. And then what we did to get the income numbers is for the
Go to the next slide.
sure. Yeah, go to the next slide. Say for the metal recycling, the $13,000.
We got that direct.
That came directly from East Kingston Recycling.
We gave you all those numbers.
Yeah, we have all we did 3-year look back. We only present one year's worth of numbers, but we look back for 3 years so that we could see really what the trend is. And then what we did for the income was we made the assumption, and the assumption was $400 a ton for disposal. So we multiplied the
What for? Getting this going. Right, the slight urgency is that if we miss, there's a timeline, we'll follow the same process at Hurley Town, Olive, all of these. I can name off many counties and towns in New York State and even outside of New York State, following the same process. We have the opportunity, it's tight, but we have the opportunity to get this in place for the first of the year. That doesn't mean that we're going to be completely rolled out. We'll have a transition. You'll see in the operations, the next resolution, the operations manager. There's a whole litany of deliverables that we're going to work on throughout the rest of the quarter, so that we can, in an organized fashion, roll this out at the start of the year. However, if we don't have the tax system in place and we haven't provided that information to the real property tax director by a certain date, I believe it's November, then we can't have the tax base in place in order to roll this out next year. And I'll just give you an example. A few weeks ago, there was a call went out, 5 minutes, the call goes out, nobody responds. 5 minutes later, the call goes out again, nobody responds. 5 minutes later, the call goes out again. Then mutual aid gets called. So 15 minutes go by before mutual aid gets called. We ended up having mutual aid come into this because there were nobody around us, because a lot of them have the same issues with staff. Many of them have gone to paid. However, not all of them. The town of Ulster kind of thinks, there are many around us that have not. So the urgency rests in life and death situations that EMS saw.
So you're saying if it's not done by November, we have to wait a whole year?
We have to wait a whole year to get the tax base in place, correct? And so therefore, we as taxpayers are not going to fund the whole thing in next year ourselves. We'd have to come out of our budget. We'd have to come out of our budget.
Savings that come out of something to where we would have to offset those costs that special tax district.
That's right.
So that's where it's not urgency, it's the timing. So
Timing.
for the planning, for the part of the maps and things of that nature, by approving this tonight, you're not making this happen. Right? You're just allowing for the maps to be presented in that timely manner in order for us to make the next step. You're not giving the okay for that, this tax district to happen or any of that. That's right now.
Process to present all that information, answer questions. We're going to have at least one public hearing. We need 2. We have that also as part of our contingency in our plan. If lots of people come out and have lots of questions, we'll have a second. So we're building in to make sure that we answer the questions.
That's one question. What's the average age of members? I'll tell you. What's the average age? I just want 56.
56. 56 years of age.
And in our presentation that, Kent did last, I guess it was the last meeting, he showed the graph of how that's going up. And that's across the US. Ulster County was much higher projection up on that average age.
I believe in Ulster County, a higher age is Woodstock at 63.
And, you know, and just to be clear, the tax base, is the whole thing. Part of it will be supplemented by taxes, but the rest of it's going to be through billing. So we will do what's called soft billing. That will go out to the insurance companies, wherever the insurance companies pays, goes back into that corporation that's running the ambulance service. The town is supplemented. That's part of it. And there'll be things like fundraising, that kind of direction will do, as well as grants. You know, we've already started, as I mentioned, we've already started looking at places that can offer grants, not only to help us with the startup, but also potentially operational grants every year to help offset some of the tax dollars.
Yeah, and we also looked into other payment services like Princess, for example. And they want
You mean
Empress.
And we did not go out, I just went, sorry, Mike, we did not go out for bid. We went out and just had exploratory conversations with these companies. We did not go out for bid for anything. We got some feedback on that. The numbers are pretty shocking. Some of those services are really most interested in ALS to us, which is advanced life support. We right now just need basic life support. We still need ALS, don't get me wrong, we still have requirements for ALS, but right now we need just basic ALS. All right, any other questions?
Okay,
Put it to,
So you're saying, like, if it wasn't ready by September 10th, that
wait, the dates,
that would be okay.
well, the dates can be adjusted. I mean, our goal is this, to present this discussion on December 10th, September 10th. Yeah, it's a town board meeting. Yes. Okay, so this is a resolution to adopt the official color zoning map of the town of Hurley. Whereas the town of Hurley zoning map was originally prepared on December 5th of 1990, revised on March 26th of 1991, and adopted by the town board as the official zoning map via local law number 1 of 1991. I don't have to, oh, it's up, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Yeah, well.
There's 30 seconds, just go with it.
Okay.
Good one.
Yep, so motion. Any questions or comments? No, it's not.
Okay. I mean, I haven't reviewed any of these maps or anything, so I think we should table this till the next meeting, so if we can review.
talking about some maps?
Yeah, so
This was a map that.
What was that?
It was.
Sorry.
Yeah, this one. This came from, planning board. Came through this one.
It's been utilized for a number of years.
Well, the thing is, though, yeah,
This is what, when you were supervisor.
Before.
That-
It was updated with maybe.
The commercial district.
All it is basically is a map we have in the building, and it has to be updated somebody. So there's no changes, but
Just never was.
Okay.
it's never
Legally
updated.
put into place so that, like, for example, we can't put it on our fee code.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That's all it is.
Look,
It's a mere formality.
Did I get a second?
That's it, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Second, great. Aye. Any opposed? Okay,
Yes, I got the next one. And this is the, is a resident approving the work to begin the alienation of the farm. In order to, this is again, resident approval to begin the alienation of the farm.
I can attempt to bring it up.
I can read it.
Yeah, I got it. Sure. If you're. It's working, there you go.
Okay. Basically, it's just a now resolution to allow Delaware engineering to start the process. It's on, it's an additional page.
That's.
Another one, right?
Oh, God.
oh, this is the park plan.
This is the
Okay.
part.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Thanks.
Okay. All right, any, do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this?
I just want to be in agreement that we decide.
This is for the highway garage.
Yeah, this is,
Whatever you probably should do.
No, there's kiosks.
All right, so, no discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, I'm sorry, who's that? Second was, Debbie. Okay, next one is the rail trail kiosks.
Very good.
Answer the question. Oh, I guess. we need a second.
Okay. All right, make.
The Hudson Valley Greenway is where the grant comes from, right?
River Valley Greenway.
Okay, and they don't offer a refurbishment grant? They only offer a replacement grant? That's what you're stating for the record?
We presented it only as a replacement. We didn't have any discussion. And that was,
We could also add additional kiosks and repair the old ones? Could we? Okay.
That's the next one.
and I only presented it based on what happened.
Just out of respect for the amount of work that went into the Eagle projects and those things, yeah.
Well, we had one of the members of the fire department that was on the, he was captain that built the kiosk back 20 years ago.
18.
That's last one. No, I'm just saying, I think you have a very valid point. You have a very valid point. I think somehow in the middle, there's a neat sense, we'll part of the grant. I was expecting part of the grant. We would then send a contract to look at, see how to fix it, or you go back to do what you have to do, and we'll see. And if the grant comes through, we can decide whether we want 3 new PS somewhere else and repair those.
So what, to amend this, what, we just take out the existing POs? And
You
just
need the resolution in order to apply for the grant.
Yeah.
So is it a replacement or is it two?
So it's very specific.
The town probably determined 3 kiosks located on Ridge Road need to be replaced. And what's the replacement?
Who made the determination that they need to be replaced?
I did.
Is there a way of changing that?
If you, yeah, well, it's a little late, but I don't know if we can.
Is that the grant?
What's his name? The great, Tony said that it's really a hard task to try and do edit this. Edit the grant application. Yeah, the application.
That's the language that you
Just
use.
leave it the way it is, yeah. Yeah, we
So we'll buy 3 new kiosks, right? We don't have to tear the ones down.
Just to give you brief history, I put a question out to Heather, who is the chairman of the Hurley Town Hall. Did Billy come on board with this? I said, well, okay. Put it out to the members of the rail trail. He did. I decided to take the ball myself and with it. Put it in.
Yeah, I actually, I think replace is what the word in the application and grant. Replace doesn't necessarily mean that we would take down kiosks, but use them potentially instead. And I think if you just took existing, as replaced the kiosks. And then.
Say again?
Replace the three.
Replace the 3.
No, just replace the word existing.
Yeah, fine.
I would remove 3 existing.
Replace 3 kiosks. Replace 3 kiosks. So take out the resolution. Yeah. First one back.
No, it's the last sentence to take out existing.
The last.
Oh, no, it's in the first.
It's in the first one, bring it back.
And in the
Doesn't replace.
And also on the 1, 2, and the therefore, it's also existing. On the second line.
Are we replacing? I didn't have the physical.
Yeah, that's the first thing, from the first word asked and the last word.
They're saying
Yeah.
to install 3 kiosks.
Like with the issue is that they have to change the grant application.
That's,
And then release the grant application.
There's 2 weeks left, basically.
And so the indicator really is. The board hasn't made any decision here that they're tearing down any. There's nothing.
We haven't authorized.
Costs the removal of this 30 rights.
Yeah, have you withdraw your motion and make your motion on the amended resolution? All right.
Yes,
Right,
I withdraw my motion.
Withdraw my second.
All right.
Okay, now make a motion on.
Motion to accept the
Amended.
amended version.
And
I have a second.
And I second that amended version.
We have a discussion? All right, good. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So be it. Next one is the planning board bylaws.
This is the only.
Just let me know. I have it. Is it together or?
Planning board can, basically, so the rules and regulations for anything within their jurisdiction. There is, the scheduling of meetings, which is proposed here. But most of this other stuff would require a local law to do. and it's not within the jurisdiction of the planning board to create bylaws. Codified in our local code as well. So what I would recommend, I know there were previous discussions about some other rules and regulations, internal rules and regulations for the planning board to discuss pertaining to, you know, when applications are submitted, the process for maybe having a review with the planner prior to an application going to for the planning board, things to help streamline the process. And those things are things that can be codified in the rules and regulations of the planning board, by the planning board, and then basically voted on by this board. As I said, this would be something that definitely would warrant more discussion directly with the planning board. As I said, most of the things that are proposed in these bylaws would require local laws to actually be effective. So I do not recommend that this be proposed for.
Yeah, no, I looked at the local laws as well in comparison to this, and a lot of this is already in the local law, so we would not want to have it as part of a bylaw.
Yeah, the only thing actually that I found that was within the purview of the planning board to adopt would be section 8 regarding this meetings. Otherwise, the rest of it either is not totally non-jurisdictional or would require a different local law.
I agree.
Yeah.
It was taken from the normal town planning board bylaws, so obviously they probably did it correctly. So we'll go back and we'll look at this.
Yeah, I'll be more than happy to answer any questions.
So we basically just table this to our. All right, Tim, you're up.
So Old Library, I'm going to combine the update. We've met with Peter Buffett from Novo Foundation, and we have a commitment in writing to fund 75% of the project cost to remodel the old library. For community use, it's I think it's a great, it's a great. That, may not make the winter this year. Like if we have a rough winter, if you look up at that roof, I don't know how old it is, but it's gotta be 40, 50 years old. So, this resolution that I'm proposing is to just get started on that part of the project, ASAP, outward and separately from the remainder of the project, to get a bid on putting a metal roof on there that, matches what the architect has proposed, so.
My only question to this, Tim, is why is there date and time and date on this resolution?
Well,
Why is that relevant?
when you put out an RFP.
No. You put information in here which will be viewed for submission to the supervisor at that time and that date.
Right.
But you have to do.
I actually had Samara write this, and this is like standard language for an RFP.
I believe like already has an RFP.
Authorizing the creation and publishing of an RFP, right? It has a due date.
It has a due date.
That sealed bids are delivered by X date.
At a certain time.
In other words, it's sealed.
So tell me when the date is, what are you going to put in this resolution? No.
No.
No, you got 3 bids, you got.
Well, yeah, this is the point.
Yeah.
30
That's
days.
what the date,
Yeah,
but
what
we
the
need to
date and
put a
time
date
is.
in here,
Yeah.
time.
Are you?
September 27th.
Yeah, I would recommend something that a month from now, all bids in. Then you review the bids.
12 PM, September 27th, 9/27/2024.
No, the 24th is meeting.
Let's make it noon on the 24th. Almost 30 days. Yep. That way we can award the bid
And
right
that
away.
would be reviewed at the September 24th.
Right.
So that's.
Question to ask, who writes the RFP? Can that be you, Matt?
Don't you have an architect?
Either Paul Jankovic or we can have Dennis. One of those two people. RFPs is either done by an architect or an engineer. We'll get that done.
Yeah, Dennis
That's,
has already,
Was ever cheaper, how about that?
well, Dennis has already surveyed the,
Paul did the design. We'll have one of them put an RFP out.
My suggestion is that because this RFP is gonna have to go through a review. And if you're confident that this RFP is gonna get done in time, I'm just looking at the time. You're talking about 30 days. Is the RFP?
It's just the roof.
at this point,
If it's approved in October, would that be problematic?
Yes.
What?
It's just by the time they line somebody, by the time they actually get out to do the job, it's snowing, potentially. So, but if we start, the construction season, ends in November. So by the time you award it and then they get it scheduled.
The other thing, if you don't get enough bids in time, you can extend it.
You can always extend.
So you even put that in the resolution if you like, with an option to extend 10 more days for security.
If necessary, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying, I'm giving leeway here. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to give leeway. Just look at the dates and see whether or not those dates are practical. And if they're not, let's do something else.
Well, why don't you, can I make a suggestion then? Why don't you make it where submission will be no later than, and then push it out to the middle of October?
Yeah.
And then that way.
Well, no, because you have to have a bid open.
Yep.
On a
Yeah, we
specific
can do-
date.
Yeah, we can do the bid opening. If you, when are you proposing that the bid is full?
The bid 12 noon on the 24th, we open them and then we see who's, this is gonna be roofers. They're gonna boom, here's the number. It's a square footage measurement times a number and a calculator. This material is this much a square, it's screws and metal,
we also have.
and maybe some plywood and roof. That's probably, Nice and water.
Did anybody second this? Oh, so then, hold on, you guys are having the discussion.
So this is a historic building.
Well, any kind of exterior changes generally.
The historical society has
So,
to-
Paul has made a determination and stated to me that the Paul Economos, the building inspector, the code enforcement official here in town, has stated to me, and Peter was present, that the roof does not require any kind of,
Okay.
and not make any changes to the front of the building, so there's no historical review report. Two members.
Yeah.
Two members.
They said not a problem.
Yes. They've stated that there's no review required because the plans for this building do not require any changes
Yeah,
to the
I'm just
facade
trying
of
to
the
get
building.
clarity on
Yep.
the issues. Yeah. I have no problem.
Okay. Okay. Close. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Six.
I would amend it.
With the, yeah, so yes.
As amended.
As amended. Right.
September 20.
We're up to, public comment. Operating no one's working there. One of these guys out there with the EMS. The amount of time and effort she put into this thing, I'm here at the town hall about 50 hours a week. She's here about 60 hours. So I really want to thank Debbie Dowd for doing a wonderful job. I want to thank Tim Kelly for perseverance and persistence, working with the old library and, getting Peter along.
Yeah.
I think that's wonderful. I want to thank both of you.
And there, I didn't put it in the record, but we asked Peter specifically, what strings are attached to donating this kind of money, because that's a question that has been asked in the community. And literally, the money is destined to be given away. This is a community that they have a presence in. They just need to give the money away. There's no, there's no strings attached.
And I might have been wrong, but I thought it was unanimous.
Did he?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He did not state.
You guys didn't hear anything, right?
He did not state that. You said
It was no vote, right?
no vote on it.
There's no, that's what,
Or the 25%.
This will all be total up as the project.
yes, correct. And we do have, capital.
We may pay for the roof.
We have a capital money account for buildings. And we have something like $117,000.
We have over 500,000.
Just on the front.
All right, okay. And that's gonna cover the our portion of the loan line there. And that, it's a wonderful thing. It's been sitting there. How long has it sitting there?
Yeah. Well,
7 years, I think, unutilized.
Library, right.
7 years ago.
Yeah.
2017.
Couple times.
Okay, so did we open that motion?
Okay, motion to open public comment and research.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You guys want to say something?
Something.
I'll just say thank you to the town board for the consideration of kiosk. And then you want to hear about more, but I'll just say thank you. It doesn't mean like me. So I'll let my thanks out.
Bringing that point, yes.
Thanks for your service to the fire department. Thanks for the,
Thanks for the kiosk.
I like the idea of refurbishing the library. That's a theme that I saw tonight. So.
Oh, we're gonna replace them.
it's just gonna seem like it's the old library.
I've been to a couple of meetings last year and the tension everywhere, and I'm not in any political norms or anything. So my comment is I've seen and working together. It just comes back to us for 3 years. I understand why, and you got my support. And,
The reason why there's no tension, we all like each other.
we do. We work, guys were here last year too.
Yeah, we work well together, because our concern is the town, the taxpayers, and the residents. That's our main concern, because like, we work for you. So like,
You guys are doing a job.
we all feel about that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we publish that in the newsletter?
It'll be in the video.
Thanks again to everybody for their leadership and improving EMS. And thanks to the,
stepping up.
thanks to the board for your vote of confidence, appointing me, and look forward to working with you and making progress, answering a lot of questions, and looking forward.
Thank you, Ken. And Connor. Connor's also on the committee.
And Connor.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, I'm new to this town. I've only been here since 2015. I've been living in Ulster for almost 45 years already. And one thing I've noticed, I taught in Montreal High School, and I noticed the West Hurley Firehouse and the old Hurley Firehouse never got along. There was always a competition there. What Debbie has done is just she brought you guys together. I actually went to one of the first meetings that you had the boys fill in there. And the camaraderie between both firehouses, like something that's new.
It's unity of need.
It's exactly what it is. Exactly. You know something? Somebody got your ass together.
Hey, John, I know you were even looking at it, right?
I tried 2019 and tried. What you've done is amazing.
Well, it's basically because we all have the same need.
Yeah.
We
We want to make sure to take care of the residents. That's why we're here.
That's why
I got a motion. Does I want to adjourn?
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go back. Okay, go back. I make a motion to close public comment number 2.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to close this.
Adjournment.
Adjourn.
Second.
A nice discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Good night.